All right, what is going on, everybody? What is going on? Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for being live. Lakers and the Sixers just finished off a few minutes ago. 112 to 108, the final score. Lakers find a way to go 2-1 on this road trip. Really, really fun, exciting game in Philadelphia. The only game that the Lakers are going to have in Philadelphia this year. Obviously, this is part of a 3-game road trip. They go Toronto, they go Boston, they go Philly, and some really entertaining games. Not the Boston game. All right, Celtics game, put that to the side. But you guys have heard me say this plenty of different times as we're getting ready for this road trip. You go 2-1 on this road trip. This is a very, very successful road trip. And it ain't perfect. Obviously, Luka was out for 2 of those games. But the Lakers find a way to make it happen. They claw, they hold on at the end, and we got a lot to hit on. So thank you very much for being here. Please, everybody, do me a quick favor. If you're here on the post-game show and you're here live, welcome. Thank you. If you're listening to this a little bit later, if you're listening through the iHeartRadio app and you're just grabbing the podcast audio version, welcome all, and I appreciate you guys being here. Help us get to 34,000 subscribers. We're just a few subscribers away, so I greatly appreciate that. We got a lot to hit on tonight's post-game show. We'll talk about the actual game. We'll talk about LeBron James having 29 points tonight. Big-time three-pointers in that fourth quarter. 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Walking along Philly, crowning himself the king as he goes. I've been trying to tell people just try to appreciate LeBron as much as you can because you don't know how much longer he's going to do this for. I can't wait to talk about LeBron. So we'll hit on LeBron James. Luka comes back with a triple-double. I thought Austin Reeves struggled tonight, but still did some other things. And most importantly, overall for the Lakers, like I said, is they grab a W. So certainly a lot to talk about, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, let's get started here. Final score tonight, 112-108. Lakers have kind of put themselves in a position here. I think now 17-6 overall. Lakers have put themselves in a position where they're continuing to try to prove and, obviously make some statements around the NBA that we're here to stay. Maybe the team's not perfect, certainly not. But tonight's game was interesting because most of the first half, Lakers are pretty much down the entire first half. And then come out in the third quarter and are phenomenal. They outscore the Sixers by 10 in that third quarter. And all of a sudden you start to feel like the momentum is coming their way. And then they reach the point in the fourth quarter where I'm like, I think they're going to run away with this thing. A couple of possessions, a lot of shots the Lakers missed around the basket today, which was kind of odd. Watching Austin Reeves missing so many easy buckets, guys, or shots that he typically hits. Lakers going, I think they missed 10 total free throws. I'm going to go to some of the team stats here. We'll look at it here real quick. 10 total free throws. They go 17 of 27 from the free throw. I felt like with about 4 or 5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, I'm like, all right, maybe this game was a toss-up coming in, but now it would be devastating if the Lakers find a way to lose this game. And luckily for the Lake Show, they did come through at the end. The possessions weren't perfect, but damn, they kind of figure out a way to kind of grind out a W here, which is kind of what the Lakers have done most of the season. Just a tremendous way to close out your weekend and a tremendous way for the Lakers to continue to, I think just kind of add to this already very impressive resume. What are the Lakers now on the road? I'm going to look this up here real quick, and then we're going to talk LeBron immediately after because there's a lot to talk about in regards to Bron. Here are the Lakers now on the road, 17-6. They're 10-3 away from crypto. Do you know what good teams do? They find ways to win in hostile environments. They find ways to win. Lakers are now 8-0 in clutch time. I get it. That stat's very absurd. I understand that that's not something that, you could always rely you're going to win these close games. But they also got clutch players. Luka's a clutch player. Austin Reeves is a clutch player. LeBron, clearly a clutch player. So for the Lake Show to find a way to kind of grind this one out, how they did, down for most of the first half, come out in the third quarter. I loved, by the way, Michael, really, really good on the broadcast. Michael Thompson was doing it tonight with Billy Mack. Unfortunately for Stu Lance, he's been sick last 2 games. Trudell filled in the game before. But Michael kept saying, as long as you keep getting stops on the defensive side, okay, it's not going perfect on the offensive end, but you keep yourself in the game and you probably continue to have a lead. And I thought the Lakers did just enough to get some of those stops. So we'll talk a little bit about some of these Sixers players because I don't know. You guys tell me what you think of Philly, but they're going to have issues there with Embiid and PG on that lineup, and the money that's owed to those 2 players. That's a different conversation, but we'll talk about the Sixers a little bit later. All right, let me do this. Let me look at a couple of comments, and then we'll start talking LeBron, who was just outstanding tonight. I mean, just outstanding. There's nothing more I could say other than LeBron was brilliant tonight, especially with some of those clutch buckets he had at the end. All right, let me look at some of the comments here. Let's see what we got here. Let me get to a few of these just because I like to hit on a couple of them just because I got so many that come in, and it's tough sometimes to do it. All right, let's see what we got here. We should expect LeBron to have these types of games, not every night, but when he plays like this, it only increases their chances of getting a win every game. I like that comment. It's a good perspective. And yes, you're right that there is a little bit something about when you don't have to do it every single night. It takes obviously a lot off his shoulders, a lot off his back. All right, let's get another one here. LeBron just casually dropped 29, 7, and 6 on 70% shooting and won us the game in the 4th. All right. Let's the GOAT James took the game over. Okay, let's do this. Let's leave this comment there and let's spend a little time talking about LeBron. Okay, let's talk about what it's been so far this season for LeBron. He had the first game that he came back, had the 11, 12 assists. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then it's been, guys, what's going on with LeBron? I've heard so many different broadcasters that have been covering LeBron or commentators covering LeBron over the last week or so talk about how I don't think I've ever seen LeBron like this. And we haven't. I've spent time as well talking about like LeBron looked like he just aged overnight. Well, he didn't. He's 40, about to turn 41. And he's created this expectations for everybody that if he doesn't look like a top 15 player in the league, all of a sudden everybody's like, well, what's wrong with him? You know, bench him. He's not this. Take away his minutes, blah, blah, blah. But I understand where people are coming from as well. LeBron, in these last few games, 4 of 17 from the field, but makes the right pass in the right position, right situation. Rui hits a 3 against Toronto. Lakers get the win. Is not playing seconds of back-to-backs, at least for now. Didn't play in the game against Boston. Struggled in the game before that. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Who did the Lakers play? The Phoenix game. The whole team struggled. The whole team was bad. But you obviously had a number of players that LeBron doesn't get the scoring streak, the double-digit scoring streak against Toronto, but the Lakers win. The game against Phoenix, he struggled, barely got to that, got 10 points by hitting a three-pointer. The rest of the Lakers struggled as well. It's okay to have the conversation about LeBron of where is he? Are those brilliant moments done? Is he always going to look like some of these last couple of games? Is that just who he is moving forward? I don't have the answer to that. Nobody does. So it's okay to be critical about LeBron. I mean, I know I went off on Friday, and I'm basically going off to protect LeBron. Why was I protecting LeBron? Is because there's a lot of just dumb comments out there about LeBron where people just hate on him. But if you want to critique him actually on the floor, that's a different conversation. We can have it. He was brilliant tonight. Was tonight not a breath of fresh air? Saying to yourself like, no, wait. LeBron still can have nights like that. LeBron still can be excellent. LeBron can still come out and like this comment here is dropping, 29, can casually drop 29, 7, and 6 on 70% from the field. And it's not just 29 when it doesn't matter. This is 12 points in the 4th quarter in clutch time where the Lakers, it looked like every 3 that LeBron hit, if he missed it, Lakers might not get the win. LeBron was phenomenal. And in a night where you can have, think about the two players that keep carrying the Lakers on a night in, night out basis. It's Luka, it's AR. It's Luka, it's AR. Luka's out, AR steps his game even more. Well, AR was awful tonight. At least from the field, he was bad. I haven't looked at the rest of his stats. I'll look at that in just a second. But he was awful from the field tonight. Bron saved the Lakers. Because in most of these games, it's like, no. You got to have Luka play well, and you got to have AR play well. Tonight, Luka delivered after being gone for a couple of games, birth of his second child. AR wasn't good, and LeBron stepped up and said, I got you. So just there's no other way to put it. Just a brilliant performance. I tweeted this out, and I really think there's truth to it. Try to enjoy LeBron as much as you can, because nobody's ever played 23 years in the league, and definitely nobody looks anywhere near those type of, even if those stats only come once every couple of weeks. And again, I don't think we obviously know where LeBron is. I will give some of the listeners credit, because I've had a few listeners say, hey, Al, you got to understand something. This man hasn't even played a full preseason yet. He wasn't there for training camp. He's using the regular season to try to get back in shape and everything else. There might be some truth to that. Now, how often can LeBron have nights like this? I don't have an answer for you. But I do have an answer of, I'm going to kick back. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to appreciate it. I'm going to enjoy this post-game show. I'm going to enjoy watching some highlights later. I'll wake up in the morning and do the show again. We'll do the show at 8 a.m. And at least for a couple of nights, I'm going to kick back and enjoy what LeBron James was able to do tonight for the Lakers. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments. And thank you all for being here. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Let's see what we got here. I really like LeBron chilling, fitting in with the team. Yeah, I think there's something about the Lakers being in a position where they don't need LeBron to do this every night. And every other year LeBron's been in the NBA, they need this every night. There's just no negotiation. Even when Anthony Davis was here, even when they were winning that championship in 2020, every single night, even when LeBron played in Miami, or maybe not every night in Miami if they were blowing out teams, even when he played with Kyrie Irving, LeBron has been needed to put up 29, 7, and 6. That's just LeBron coming to the office. He hasn't even done anything. He just walked into the building. But now you could be a little bit more, all right, no need for LeBron to do this. He doesn't have to do it every night. It's not on his shoulders every night. But they were highly, highly depending on LeBron over the course of that fourth quarter and other moments in the game. I'm not talking about just the fourth quarter. And they clearly don't win this game without this performance. So phenomenal stuff there from LeBron. LeBron looked vintage tonight. It was awesome. Let's get another one here. Let's see. Just when I thought the old man should retire, he found a way to find. You know what I love about comments like this? And I hope you guys are good with, hey, you know what? I thought one way, but I'm going to put my ego to the side and say I was wrong about this or I was wrong about that. Guys, there's a lot of people questioning whether LeBron can still have games like this. Why wouldn't you? I mean, that sounds like a proper analysis. But when we can also admit that, yeah, I didn't know he still had that in his game, and you obviously going out there and admitting that, I like it. I like it. Not everybody's going to be right or wrong or everything else. Let me address this here. Where's the haters? To be honest with you, I think haters for LeBron, they'll hate either way, anytime. It doesn't matter what he accomplishes or what he does. It just doesn't matter. And this is if he's playing in his prime or if he's playing towards the end of the career. I think the bigger topic tonight is maybe where the people that thought, yeah, I think this is done with LeBron. They're still being critical. They're being objective. They're not trying to be emotional or anything like that. I think LeBron turned a lot of heads tonight. I got it in my notes here. I'm almost in a sense, I'm really happy for LeBron that he had a game like this, because the last two games LeBron has played in, there's that pass to Rui Hachimura in the corner where his double-digit streak ends, And then there's this game where he puts up 27 or 29, 7, and 6. At least LeBron's got to feel good about himself too. And obviously, if you're a Laker fan, you need LeBron to feel good about himself. All right, let's keep going here. Man, there are a couple of players. Let me just kind of get this out of the way here real quick, and I want to look at some of the stats while I do it. We'll just kind of go with the flow of the show here. What did Paul George do for the Sixers? And I want to look at what Joel Embiid did. Paul George, 12 points, 3 of 8 from the field, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. All right, now let me go to the other stat that matters, and probably the only stat that matters. I guess for all those that want to bury the Clippers because they looked as dumb as an organization as you can over the last, 6 months or so, the one thing you can say about the Clippers is they didn't give Paul George a 4-year, $212 million deal. So, by the way, the final year of his deal, that's a player option. So Paul George, pretty sure he's going to take that contract. I don't know if Paul George might be my favorite player in the NBA, that him and his agent were able to negotiate a 4-year, $212 million deal. But that's Paul George right now. Those are, his stats. He played 32 minutes, so it's not like the man wasn't playing. And then Joel Embiid, 4 of 21 from the field, 0 of 8 from the three-point line, 7 rebounds. And I just feel bad. His knees look shot. His legs look shot. Nothing looks good. I don't know why. The only justification that I could have that Joel Embiid lives on the perimeter as much as he does and takes 8 threes is if you ain't healthy. That's the only thing that I could think of. Because why would Joel Embiid be taking 8 threes and be that far from the basket and relying on jumpers unless it's as simple as I'm just not healthy? I can't go down there and bang anymore. I don't want to. It's too much pain. I just got to stay on the perimeter. But they got a couple of players. Philly's got some nice young talent. It's their older guys that's really going to hold this franchise behind until that money is off the books. But yeah, I just saw that Paul George comment, so I'm like, all right, I might as well just address this now. Let's get a couple of these in here. Embiid looks bad. I saw encouraging signs from PG. Man, I feel bad for Embiid. I really do. Don't feel bad for PG. Dumbass chose the Clippers over the Lakers. Listen, it's fine. I mean, I think there's some players that they don't want to be a Laker. It's okay. I don't think you got to hold it against them. I do think PG made some decisions where it's like, you could do some damage with the Lakers. It wasn't in the cards. It didn't happen. But the reason why I won't feel bad for PG, I have 212 million reasons why I'm not going to feel bad for Paul George. All right, let's see what else we got here. 12 for George and 16 for Embiid. Embiid took 20-plus shots, guys. 20-plus shots. And it's more how he looks. All right, let's keep rolling here. I appreciate you guys chiming in. Thank you for being a part of the show. And we got a number of other topics that I want to get into. Before I do so, let's talk about one of our partners here. So shout out to Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm. Brad's texting me during the game. So you watching LeBron? I'm like, of course I'm watching LeBron. Of course I'm watching. Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm. I really want to simplify my messaging here real quick with Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm. WallaceWins.com/Sliwa. Best injury attorney in the business. Can help anybody in the state of California. Loyal to me, loyal to the channel, and has and will do anything he can for clients that are out there. And I know will do anything he can for a listener of this channel. If you need an injury attorney, go to WallaceWins.com/Sliwa. If you want me to make you a personal introduction with the owner, I can do that as well. Shout out to Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm. Thank you for his partnership here, and I appreciate you guys supporting our partners. All right, let's keep going here. Where am I going here? What do I want to hit on here? So many good things that we can hit on. Let me do this. I want to talk about, do I do road trip or Luka? First to 5. Just tell me, you guys want this next topic to be Luka or do you want it to be about the 2-1 road trip? So just type road trip or just type Luka. All right, I'll tally those up here in just a second. What a road trip. What a really, really impressive road trip. 17-6, guys. 17-6. By the way, let me just put this in here real quick while I have it. Let me summarize real quick for everybody JJ Redick's presser. Let me summarize that real quick. This is what he said about LeBron's game in the fourth quarter. He said LeBron was the connector tonight. Basically connected every player, connected Luka, connected Ayton, connected Laravia, Reeves, everything else, so that he was the connector tonight. All right, let me see a couple other things here. Some of the defensive efforts. Felt they did a decent job of executing their schemes outside of some of the fouls with Embiid. Let's see what else. DeAndre Ayton led, did a ton of stuff, was in drop, being disrupted, switching off on Maxey. So talked a little bit, gave a little bit of love to DeAndre Ayton. I like this part. He said the growth that the Lakers have had can still get better with it as you want to play your game and recognize that we played through LeBron tonight. Unselfishness, no need to force it. All right. So kind of gives you a little bit of a summary of what JJ talked about in the post-game show. Okay, let's take a look at a few of these comments here. Now I got to go tally up. Which one are we doing here? Maxey is awesome. Tyrese Maxey is a baller. The problem with Philly, the biggest problem with Philly is their older players. Because other than that, they got some really, really nice young talent. Just give everyone an idea. What did Maxey end up? 28 points. He took a lot of shots, but also 9 assists and 7 rebounds. Edgecombe struggled a little bit from the field. I kind of like some of their other players. Drummond was working hard, 11 points and 12 rebounds. Quentin Grimes hit a couple of shots. Jared McCain hit a couple of shots. Lakers bench, by the way, that's going to be a different conversation, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. All right, let's see what we got here. Embiid is trash. All right, everybody relax here. Maxey is amazing. Okay. All right. I'll let you guys giving some love to Brad. Okay. It looks like we got more people that want to go Luka, and then I'll go road trip. Real quick on Luka. Goes back to Slovenia, the birth of his second daughter. You guys, I don't have to tell you guys. I mean, obviously, without Luka Doncic, I mean, listen, they won against Toronto. You kind of almost had no chance against Boston without Luka in that game. Luka comes back and just, I mean, I know I spent a lot on LeBron. This is what happens. When there was a time where LeBron would have the stats and the nights every single night like Luka, and then we just didn't pay as much attention to him. And we primarily didn't pay as much attention. It's like, yeah, but that's what that player does. Great players don't get credit. Great players, typically, they just come to the office. They're the top 5 players in the world, and we very rarely give them credit because they do it every single night, and that's the expectation. That's where Luka is. Luka hasn't played. I'm not telling you Luka was, the most efficient from the field. I thought his shot was short. I thought he missed a lot of shots he usually hits, including Austin Reeves. So I think there are a lot of areas you could look at Luka, but guy is gone. He's in a different continent of the world. Comes back, 31 points, 15 rebounds, 11 assists, and a couple of block shots. So to have Luka kind of still, even under the circumstances, the fact that he was gone, I know I've given LeBron a ton of credit tonight, but let's not forget about Luka, the 31 points, the 11 of 14 from the free throw line. He was just great. Him and Reeves really struggled from the field tonight, which is it's actually a good thing. If you can get a win and still get 112 points up, and a lot of your players really didn't play all that well, and I'm talking about from an efficiency perspective, that's a great signal too, that you can still find a way to win that game. So that part I thought was phenomenal. So Luka with the 31, 11, or 15 and 11. Let me also say this, and I think this will definitely help out as well. Rui hit some big shots for the Lakers tonight. Rui hit a couple of threes in the corner. It kind of continues to go back to that same area, knows where to be. The starters tonight, outside of Austin Reeves, which I'll talk about in just a second, you got a lot of guys that were contributing. By the way, it's not like it just Reeves had a bad night. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Reeves has carried the Lakers on plenty of other evenings. He didn't do it tonight, and other guys stepped up. But if you look at Rui's 17-6, if you look at Ayton's 14-12, phenomenal from all the starters. And then I mentioned what LeBron did. I mentioned what Luka did. Here's the only issue I really had with Austin Reeves. I didn't like the shots he was taking. He had a stage, especially in that first half, where he was forcing a ton of shots. He was forcing a lot of bad shots. That's the only area I didn't like about Austin Reeves. I just thought that the shots he was working so hard to try to draw a foul. I think that was taken away from his natural game. So that's the one area that I would hit on. Any other night, I don't really care. If Reeves has a bad night and he shoots bad from the field, that's one thing. But I think when you're hunting for fouls and you're not getting the calls, you got to adjust your game a little bit. Or if you know your shot's just not falling, then I'm going to do some other things or set up some other guys. Maybe instead of me trying to get 30 tonight, let me see if I get 10 assists tonight. So a couple areas I think you could look at from Reeves' game, and that's where I would be critical about Reeves' game. Vando got some minutes. Guys, there was a Vando sighting tonight. And Vando played 3 minutes. But we saw him. Nobody can say Vando didn't play tonight. 3 minutes. Sounds like my high school minutes. 3 minutes. All right, he was on the floor. He wasn't, or he was on the floor. At least he made it. There is an issue that I would be concerned about with the Lakers, and this is why every time I talk about, hey, if the Lakers are going to go make a trade, I had Bobby Marks on Friday and talked to him a little bit about the Lakers and how aggressive does he think Rob Pelinka is going to be. He thinks Pelinka is going to be aggressive. Go back and listen to that interview if you didn't. I cut a couple of clips from it as well. That's on the channel. But what they can't have is they got to be negotiating with a team that wants draft compensation and that wants expiring contracts, because if you go look at the Lakers bench right now, they're going to need depth. And yes, you're going to eventually get Marcus Smart back, hopefully on Wednesday. But even if you were to go out and make a move and that player is as good as Rui or Rui Hachimura-esque, okay, Rui comes off the bench. Now you got Marcus Smart. You got Jackson Hayes. You can name off a couple. Jackson Hayes has arguably been the most consistent player off the Lakers bench, period. Not arguably, by the way. He has been. LaRavia looked like he was a little lost at some points tonight. Certainly not a threat on the offensive end. I do like the way he plays defense. I think he plays hard. Gabe Vincent, pretty decent defense. I mean, kind of flying all over the place, playing hard, but just 3 points from him, and you just never know what you're going to get. Or you do know what you're going to get from Gabe Vincent. You're not going to get a great night. Like, offensively, you're not. So I think we have a good idea. And then Jackson Hayes, high energy guy, 3 points, 5 rebounds, 3 block shots. I love what Jackson Hayes brings to the Lakers. I really do. I think Jackson Hayes, he is so much better for the Lakers than I thought he was going to be. And maybe a lot of that helped because they got Ayton, they got a true center, and they got 2 centers that are completely different styles. We know what Ayton's going to give, and then Hayes could be exactly what he is. And I think that complements the Lakers. Oh, man. Take a deep breath here every once in a while. All right, let's see what we got here. AR played fine. He just couldn't hit shots. I didn't like the shots. I didn't like some of the shots they took. Reeves was hesitant on his shots. Slee, he wasn't getting the calls. You got to adjust your game then. You know, it's like a pitcher. It's like, all right, ump's calling everything high a ball, even if it's just in the strike zone. Well, you can't keep saying, well, I'm going to keep throwing it high until he changes his mind. No, the ump is telling you. Usually the strike zone has nothing to do with the actual strike zone. It has to do with what the ump is calling. That's why a lot of these players just ask umpires. They're like, look, we don't even care if it's in the strike zone or not. We just want to know what's a ball and a strike from your view, and that's where we're going to throw the ball. If you're Austin Reeves, you're not getting a lot of these calls, then you're going to have to change your game plan a little bit up too. All right. LeBron on a couple of on a couple LeBron post game, just a um, quick little, what am I trying to say here? What am I trying to say? Where are you, Slee? What day is it? What day is it? Quick little outline of what LeBron said in his post game. Here's what he said. He said he felt really good with a couple days off. So obviously he hasn't played since that Thursday night game against Toronto. Had about 2.5 days to work through the injuries that he has. Said he's still not 100%, but he feels good. Said he has a lot of appreciation for the city of brotherly love. Appreciates the acknowledgement from their fans because he knows Philly only loves their teams. And Philly knows, listen, there comes a point where there's certain greats towards the end of their career. A lot of these places that have been rooting against you for years, they'll root for you. And they still want you to lose. But they also appreciate that, hey, I don't know how many times this might be the final time that LeBron ever plays in Philadelphia again, period. I mean, for all we know, he didn't play in the game against Boston. He may never play against the Celtics again in Boston. You don't know if he's playing next year. You don't know if he's next year, there's another second of a back-to-back and he can't play against the Celtics. You just don't know. This could be the final game he ever plays in Philadelphia. All right, let's see what else we got here. If there's anything else here. He said AR had some good looks tonight, but just wasn't in rhythm. Gave compliments to Luka having to travel back and obviously do what he did based off of being there for his family. All right, let me go all the way. Let me see. All right, we got some supers here that I'm going to start getting into here. Now we got to, at times now we got to go where the money's at. Okay? All right? All right, real quick. Let me get through a couple of these. Number one, thank you for the super brother. I appreciate it. Very nice of you. This one, I don't know the context here. Anthony Davis was great. LBJ as well. I don't know what the Anthony Davis thing is. I have no idea. So I don't know if AD played tonight. I don't know if it was something I was referring earlier back in 2020. I got no idea. Thank you, brother. I appreciate the super. Go Lakers. Thank you for the super. Appreciate that very much. Let's get another one in here. David Sabatini with a 5 spot. David, you got my coffee tomorrow. I appreciate you. Thank you, Dave. Actually, I'll be making coffee at home. Do you think we are a player or two away from competing for a title, or do you think this team can win as is? I do not think the Lakers can win as is. And let me also say this. You can go make moves and still everyone could be staring at the Oklahoma City Thunder and you could have no shot. I think this is what the Lakers' goal should be the rest of this season before the trade deadline. How can you be able to go toe-to-toe with the Denver Nuggets? I think that, to me, is the most important thing for the Lakers right now. I think Denver's the second best team when they're healthy. And I think your goal is, can we just get to the Western Conference Finals and then we'll take our chances with the Oklahoma City Thunder? I don't know if there's a move out there to go beat a team that's 22-1. I don't know. But I know I want to be one of the last two teams standing in the Western Conference and then take my chances from there, because I saw OKC have to go 7 games against the Denver Nuggets. I saw them go 7 against the Indiana Pacers. Who knows if Tyrese Halliburton doesn't get injured? So, no, I don't think the Lakers have enough as is. Guys, their lack of depth is a big issue. You cannot be that thin off the bench and there're just not enough people they could depend on. You can only put so much on Luka and AR and Bron and I mean, they're going to need more. David, I appreciate the super brother and I appreciate you chiming in. Okay. Let's kind of jump around here. There's a couple other things I want to do. I want to look at some scores from around the NBA. We're going to do this together because I have yet to look at the NBA as well. We'll do this together. The Chiefs come back? Oh, no, they're in the third. 10-7, Texans and the Chiefs. Okay, all right. Maybe I'm throwing in a couple NFL scores. Sue me. Okay, let me share my screen. We'll look at some scores around the NBA. Then we'll look at the standings, and then we'll talk a little bit about Lakers getting ready to play San Antonio coming up on Wednesday. First, let me clean up some things here. Put that there. Get this here. All right, there we go. People want as big of a face of me as possible. Okay, Knicks over the Magic. Actually, two pretty decent teams in the East there. Celtics win again. They beat the Raptors. I think Raptors, since they played Lakers, have now lost 3 in a row. Denver beat Charlotte 115 to 106, so they gain ground. Warriors beat the Bulls. Grizzlies over the Blazers. Are Grizzlies close to 500? I feel like Grizzlies have been playing better ball. And I'm wrong on the Thunder. They're 23-1 now. Oh, my gosh. Okay, let's look at the standings in the West. I know Houston lost yesterday, so Lakers benefited off of that. So here's where they are. Lakers at 17-6, Denver, Houston, San Antonio, and Minnesota. This is why trying to stay in that number 2 spot, we'll see what happens, but if you're playing against Denver in the playoffs or Houston in the playoffs, I'm sure you want home court in that second round. Damn, it would not be easy right now in the playoffs. All right, some of these other teams hanging around. Where's Minnesota? Minnesota's won 5 in a row. There's a 2-game difference between 2 and 6. You'd have to keep winning. I mean, you go on a 3-game losing streak, you could really, really fall in the standings. Okay, next game coming up for the Lakers. So let me point that one out here real quick. Wednesday, Lakers have the San Antonio Spurs, and that's going to be the quarterfinal game that they have for the NBA Cup. I'm all in now for the NBA Cup. I mean, up until they're out of it, and then I don't care again. No, actually, I like the single elimination. The final 8, I think, is kind of fun. Okay, let's just look at the San Antonio Spurs, and I think the biggest question is going to be for them. We got a few days to talk about this. Is Wemby coming back? Wemby was a full participant during Sunday's practice. I think Wemby's going to come back for Wednesday. Do Spurs have another game before Wednesday, or are they off until Wednesday as well? They got a game against the Pelicans tomorrow. Then they'll travel to LA to take on the Lakers on Wednesday. So the question is going to be if the Spurs will have Wemby or will they not? Look how nice their team is. De'Aaron Fox has been phenomenal for them since he's come back. Stephon Castle, stud. Vassell is a stud. Harrison Barnes, a vet that's been there for a while. Dylan Harper, obviously the rookie that just came into the league as well and contributing. They got, I didn't even mention Keldon Johnson. They got studs on the San Antonio Spurs. So that should be a really, really fun game. And if Spurs handle business tomorrow against New Orleans, you got 2 of the more elite teams in the Western Conference going up against each other. So that should be a phenomenal game. That should be a really, really fun game coming up on Wednesday. All right, let's see what we got here. Is Wemby injured? He's been out now for at least a couple of weeks. At least a couple of weeks. So he's been out for a while now. All right. Okay. Got some people sitting here. 2 first-round picks and AR for Giannis. The only way the Lakers will get Giannis Antetokounmpo is if he demands to be a Laker. Only way they're going to get him. And by the way, that doesn't guarantee anything. I mean, I guess Milwaukee could still trade him somewhere else, but unless he comes out and says, "I want to play for one team, I just want to play for the Lakers," that's the only way they can get him. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, the more time that goes by, the more leverage Giannis is going to have. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, a couple other things, and then we're going to start working our way out of here. Let me hit on this because I think this was important, and this is probably going to be one of the ways that I'll end the show. The 2-1 road trip. If you think about the teams that they played, Toronto was 15-7 at the time. Boston was, I think, 5 games over 500. And then Philly, I know that the Sixers are not the best team in the Eastern Conference, but they were winning some games before this loss. What did they have here? They had won 3 in a row. I think 4 of 5 is what they won. Not against great teams, but anytime you go out on the road, you're not guaranteed anything. So there are a few games over 500 as well. I think now they're 13-10. They were 13-9 coming into this game. It wasn't going to be an easy road trip. You had Luka out for a couple of the games. LeBron doesn't play a second of a back-to-back. To still walk away with 2 wins in 3 or 2 of 3 in this game, I don't want to underestimate that this was a really, really good road trip for the Lakers. And yes, it's going to be a big game. It's going to be a fun game against the San Antonio Spurs. Of course, it's going to be awesome. But we're so quick to watch a game and then that's it. It's gone. I think this 3-game set for the Lakers was important, especially after losing that game to the Phoenix Suns. Remember, I was talking about that 7-game winning streak that the Lakers were on. None of those wins were against teams over 500. And I wasn't even trying to take anything away from the Lakers. I think anytime you win 5-6 games in the NBA, I don't care who you're playing, it ain't easy. But I thought it was important to point out that, hey, these next 5 games, Phoenix, Toronto, Boston, Philly, and the San Antonio Spurs, these are all 5 games against teams above 500. How are you going to do against them? Phoenix, they got punched in the, obviously punched in the chin. There's no excuses there. They lost. Give Phoenix credit. I look forward to when the Lakers get the Suns again, because I don't think you're going to get that same performance from the Lakers. Since then, impressive win against Toronto, impressive win against Philly. Yes, you lost against Boston. You didn't have all your guys, and Boston's a good team. Give them credit the way they played. Lakers couldn't hit a shot if their life depended on it in that first half. And here you are now. You get a chance to go up against San Antonio on Wednesday and maybe go 3-2 over this 5-game stretch against teams all over 500. Okay, I'll read a couple more comments, then we're going to get out of here. Then everyone can go watch their everyone can go watch their NFL game. I don't blame you. I know the NFL's king. Ayton will be exposed in the playoffs like AR. What's that based off of? I can't wait for the playoffs. We got a long way to go. I'm going to enjoy how good Ayton has been for the Lakers. I'm going to enjoy how good Austin Reeves has been for the Lakers. And I'm not going to try to guess what's going to happen 5 months from now. I'm just going to enjoy the basketball that I'm watching. All right, we got a couple of Spurs people here. By the way, I'm okay. You guys, you can have fans from any other team that want to come on here. I'm happy to talk about it. What do you think about a jalapeno plus pineapple pizza? I'm eating it. I'm fine with it. I don't prefer pineapple. I don't want pineapple on my pizza, but I don't care what you put on a pizza. I'm eating it. It's cheese and it's bread. I'm eating it. Not my pick, but I'm eating it. All right, let's do some roll call. Roll call, very simple. Just tell me where you guys are tuning in from. I'm going to give you guys a quick little shout out. Tell me the city that you're tuning in from, the state you're tuning in from, or the country that you're tuning in from. Any one of those 3, depending on where you are. And I'll give you guys a quick shout out, and then we're going to get out of here. Where was I where I saw King Taco like a week ago or so? I was in Pasadena. I saw King Taco. I thought of the show. I got to put something up, by the way. I got a short that I'm going to share with you guys. I was at my favorite Middle Eastern sweets place. So they just do sweets. They do coffee, Turkish coffee. They do all these unbelievable sweets. And I thought of you guys. I said, I'm going to take a video. And I'm going to put that on my shorts there. And I'm going to share to everybody how phenomenal that thing looks. And anytime I'm eating good food, I think I'm going to start putting it on here. I don't know how you guys feel about food, but I get, I love the eats. Okay, let's see what we got here. Anaheim in the house. Thank you for tuning in. Arkansas. Thank you for being a part of the show. Moore Park, North Hollywood, Cal State Fullerton in the house. Tampa, Florida, Corona, California, Nashville, Tennessee, Maryland. Thank you, guys. Vancouver, Canada. Vancouver, can I get an invite? I can't even get an invite out to Vancouver. I mean, your freaking squad took down SDFC. The least you can do is invite me over for a cup of coffee. Oxnard, El Monte, New Jersey in the house. Wildmar, California. All right, we got some comedians in here. Mexico City, Brooklyn, New York, Texas in the house, Tijuana, Las Vegas, Fontana, no, Fortuna. I don't know if that's the same thing. I have no idea. Bompton, California, Stockton, Baklava. So yeah, I'm gonna get that video for you guys. By the way, I gotta yeah, I'll chime in on that one for you guys. Philippines, Venice, Vietnam, so cool. These are my favorite. You know, when people are from different parts of the world. Dagestan, if I'm right. Maryland in the house. Thank you for tuning in. Mexico City, Ontario, California, Colorado Springs, Lake Minnetonka. Minnetonka. I know how to say that. I know I do. All right, let's see what else we got here. Texas, San Diego in the house. Thank you, San Diego. La Jolla in the house. Yeah, it's a pretty nice area. Not a bad area out there. Palos Verdes, thank you for being a part of it. Vietnam in the house. I mentioned Northern California in the house. Thank you for being here. Stockton. Shout out to Maryland, South Central. All right, we got everybody here. Maine, Bay Area, Palm Desert, Slauson Avenue, Brazil here, Korea here. You guys are awesome. Culver City. Culver City. Guys, listen, you put it in here. Minneapolis in the house. All right, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Palmdale. All right, that's it. That's all we got. All right, my people, thank you very much for being a part of the show. I appreciate it. We'll put the final score up here for the day. Lakers over the Sixers, 112-108. Road trip, they're 2-1. LeBron just phenomenal tonight. Appreciate LBJ. You don't know how long he's going to be doing it for. So definitely try to appreciate him. Ensenada, Solana Beach. That's my what are you in my studio? All right, I appreciate you guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I will see you guys tomorrow at 8 a.m. Please be here tomorrow at 8 a.m. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. I'll see you in the morning.